everybody, welcome back to Insomnia Snail. If you are new here, my name is Victoria, and I am the creator and crafter here at Insomnia Snail. Today, I would like to talk about Insomnia Snail, myself, just like a general questions and answers type video. So, my name, obviously, is Victoria. My last name is Donahue. I am 26 years old. I have 2 lovely kids and an amazing husband. I love them all so much. You'll see my husband in a lot of my vlogs, I'm sure, when I start doing market day vlogs, which those will come once I get more comfortable with markets in general. In today's video, I would like to answer 3 questions in particular. Question number 1, what exactly do you do? Question 2, what else do you do? And question 3, where does the name Insomnia Snail come from? Don't worry, we'll get to all of these questions. So, what exactly do I do? Well, with Insomnia Snail, I do crocheting and embroidering. This actually started with embroidery. So, when I first thought of Insomnia Snail, I was trying to find something that I like to do outside of just being a stay-at-home mom, as I feel a lot of stay-at-home moms do. And I was doing embroidery since I was 14 in high school. I learned from my home ec teacher, Miss Face, thank you so much. I got a lot more into doing embroidery after I gave birth to my daughter, Artemis. I was trying to find something to help me feel better with my postpartum days. And it was just a little bit tricky to try and find something that I could do while also being with the kids, because before this, my number one thing was always video games, and that's not always the best to be doing when the kids are there, because it does take a lot of attention. Whereas with my embroidery, I'm able to just kind of do a stitch, and then I can put it down if I need to, or if I'm in the middle of a project, I can come back to it in a bit. I love doing embroidery because I have never gone off of an actual pattern for embroidery, which is the exact opposite of crochet. So I like that I can just freehand it, I can make what I want, and just stitch it however I want to, you know? It's just so relaxing, and just to see the image in your head and make it be able to come to life on fabric, it's just really magical to me. Now, as far as crochet, I learned how to crochet actually just earlier this year. In February is when I started, and my mom tried to teach me back in high school how to crochet. I got as far as making a chain and then being like, I don't know about this. This isn't very fun for me. For a little bit of context, in high school, I was very much a music kid. I was in chorus, I was in band, I was drum major, I was going to college for music, and it just kind of took over everything other than gaming. So earlier this year, I was getting really into doing this embroidery, and I was trying to do it as a business. And there's not a lot of embroidery people on YouTube who do craft shows. So I ended up finding people who do crochet at craft shows. So that's where I was like, maybe I'll pick it up again. But there's 2 YouTube channels in particular that really pushed me to really learn how to crochet, and that is Cameron's Cute Creations and Refined Vibes. So the first project that I did with crochet was this one pattern my mom used to make all the time for me and my friends in high school called the Octopal. I'll put a little picture of him right here. I gave him to my son, and then I had to make one for my daughter because, that's how it goes. So obviously, now I've fallen in love with crochet. It is so much fun, and it is even easier to do with my kids around because obviously needles aren't the best with kids around, I was able to work with it, put the needle like in a safe spot when I needed to put it down. But crochet is even easier because the hooks are easy peasy. Stitch markers, just keep them in your project. On to question number 2. What else do you do? I am a full-time mother. I have 2 kids, and they take up a lot of time. I always say to my husband, I just got downstairs after getting my son a snack, and he already wants another one. So taking care of my kids has been my main job ever since I gave birth. Other than that, I have been a gamer since I could remember. I grew up around games. The first 2 that I very prominently remember are Mario Party 3 and The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, both on the N64, of course. I also still love music very much. I went to college for it a little bit, but I had to leave college, so that's a whole nother part of this. I still love music very much, but it has definitely taken a back seat more so. Between my small business, between being a mom, and between COVID symptoms, because I have long COVID, it makes it hard to breathe sometimes. So like singing and belting out like I used to, or playing the clarinet and playing like any instrument really gets kind of exhausting. And no, I will not do percussion. Don't even. I could still probably spout off random music theory, and if you give me a worksheet for music theory, I will probably finish it. But I'm just not as speedy with it, not as, if you practice it every day, it's a lot easier, but I don't, and I just don't. You told me about what happened when you were in high school, in college, but what happened between college and dropping out of college, then getting to Insomnia Snail? But that seems like a big jump, doesn't it? It is, because that's not all that happened. So, before deciding to do Insomnia Snail, I was actually a manager at a restaurant. What? Vicky, that's weird. I know. So, after working at a restaurant for quite a few, I think 2 or 3 years as a manager, I had to suddenly stop. If you do not know, I have a mental illness. And that mental illness is schizoaffective disorder. And I had been neglecting this mental illness, even though I've known that I've had it since high school. And especially when I was working, I would just work. I was putting in 80 hours a week, way too much time at the restaurant. And then my husband came along and he was like, "You're doing way too much. They're treating you awful and you need to focus on yourself." And he was absolutely right, because very shortly after, I had to actually leave work because I was in the middle of an episode and I had to go straight to in urgent care, and they said that I couldn't return back to work. And long story short, I was on a disability leave for a really long time. With my mental illness and the combination of not being able to work, it was really difficult. Because working was pretty much all that I was doing before that. And so, after years of trying to figure out how we can manage my mental illness, we ended up figuring out things that worked for us. And with the help of my husband and my healthcare professionals, we had all agreed that I was stable enough to be trying to do what I'm doing now, craft shows. Insomnia Snail? What is that name? That sounds weird. I know. It's supposed to. It's a weird name. I know. It seems like it has nothing to do with my business. But here's the thing. Schizoaffective disorder is a combination of schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. If you didn't know that, you know it now. Insomnia comes in quite often between the 2 parts of my diagnosis, because there's depressive episodes, there's manic episodes, and there's psychotic episodes. So I don't sleep well sometimes. When I have bouts of insomnia, I usually end up with nightly escapades of crafting now. I try my best to get back to sleep, but if you know, then you know. It's not easy to get back to sleep a lot of the time. Sometimes even doing crafting and just kind of chilling out, doing woo, 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 repetitive motion, it helps me to get back to sleep too. So, I'm hopeful, but sometimes I just get a lot done. You answered the insomnia part. You didn't answer the snail part. I'm getting there. Snails. I really like snails. I think that's pretty obvious that I really like snails. I love snails. I love mushies. I love cottagecore. I'm not dressed like it, but I do. I promise. So, strangely enough, when I was thinking of business names, I thought of like the kind of vibe that I wanted to go for. The first thought that came to my head when I was thinking about it was a snail on top of a mushroom with the night sky just above him, and he's just like, yes. I actually drew an embroidery hoop idea for that vision. I haven't finished it yet because it's a pretty big hoop, but I love it regardless. When I was thinking of this idea as well, I was thinking about the pace that I've been needing to take my life compared to how busy and just constantly moving I was before. Because being busy and constantly moving was not working at all, so I ended up having to take things at my own pace, and that is kind of like a snail's pace sometimes, because you can't force yourself to do things the same way as other people when you're just not quite the same as everybody. Everyone's a little bit different. It was, and it still is, kind of hard to take things at the pace that I need to for myself. I'll push myself a lot, and my husband will be like, you need to take a break. Go lay down. I'll get the kids to bed. But the thing is that when I think about snails, they don't worry about how fast the ant is going that's right next to them. They don't think about how fast the whole world is moving. Like, butterflies are flying around. Oh my god, I need to move faster. No. The snail's just kind of like, I'll get there. I know where I'm going. So I hope that you enjoyed hearing a bit about Insomnia Snail and myself. If you like this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up. Subscribe so I can make more videos just like this one. Hopefully we'll have some vlogs, like market vlogs coming soon. Yeah. You want to see those? You better subscribe. Yeah, it's a good idea. And if you have made it this far, leave a comment if you think that you are a mushroom, a gnome, or a goblin. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, remember to go at your own pace, even if that's a snail's pace. Alright, bye!